How's it going, and welcome. This is Adeptus Azul here, giving a little late night video to just kind of talk about some things that were on my mind. I hopped onto the Quartering's live stream earlier, and he brought up something that I thought was a little interesting. Now, it's besides all the Comicsgate stuff that's going on right now. I have a test tomorrow in the morning, so forgive me if I'm a little groggy. I was trying to finish some homework that I'm a little bit behind on. It's an algebra exam. I also have the class that I'm TAing, Automotive Electrical, which I love. And actually, I wanted to talk a little bit about that, the automotive industry. So, I picked my name because I'm rather fond of the Warhammer 40k franchise. I've been a nerd since I was a little teeny little kid, underneath my blankets, writing stories, posting them on frictionpress.net. And it was fun. I had dreams of becoming a writer. And then those dreams died and I decided to go into sales. Now, sales. Sales is an interesting industry. There's a lot of pressure to perform, and you're only really as good as your last sale. So there's a constant flow of needing to make that money, and that's all that's really cared about. It's difficult. It's difficult for a lot of people. It's a white-collar job, and the most white-collar job you can find, because your whole job is to make sure the revenue of a company keeps coming in. And that way, your bosses can pay bills and in turn pay you and the salaries of everyone else. So there's an incredible amount of pressure. Now, if you're good, you can make good money. However, you only can make money if you really enjoy the grind of sales. And the grind, it truly is. Many people get ground out, like myself included. Now, I have a family history of salespeople. My father did it, I did it, and eventually I did it till I couldn't do it anymore. I was driving myself up the wall, driving myself insane. It wasn't for me. It's not for everybody, and that's fine and that's fair. However, I am making a leap. There's a blue-collar revival going on right now, in which you're seeing people like Mike Rowe and various people talk about entering the trades. And that's what I'm doing. And I'm doing it at the age of 32. Now, I was a tow truck driver about 2.5 years in the past. It was an experience. I liked the job, hated the company. That's something that I haven't experienced since then. And it's something that really stuck with me. You see, I would drop these cars off to these shops, and inside there would be these auto mechanics. They got to work indoors, they didn't have to work in the rain. It was an ideal situation because they also were working with their hands, and my sister married an auto mechanic. He eventually became an instructor. In fact, actually, I'm a TA in his class. And it's great. Love it. I really do. I also happen to have a internship. Well, I had an internship. Let me back up. I had an internship, but I needed to know more in order to work in the industry. Now, the thing is it didn't get me down. I realized that working in that shop, it was something that I wanted to do. And I'm specializing in the electrical component because not many people want to do that. A lot of people are intimidated. They want to work on engines. They want to work on whatever aspect of the car. Now, I'm doing this as someone who has not been into vehicles in the past. Vehicles are cars. The technical term is vehicles because, hey, truck is a car. Some people won't know. Laymen don't know. It doesn't really matter. The point is that I wasn't really a car person. I watched Initial D with my brother. I played Gran Turismo, awesome game. But when it came to the kind of culture behind it, I wasn't into it. But now that I'm older, now that I've been struggling, really, to find my place in the world, I feel like I found it. And there's a couple reasons why I think the automotive industry, forgive me, I got a little bit of a allergy, I guess it's coming on here. It's seasonal. There's a couple reasons why I think the automotive industry is one of the more ideal trades. Now, there's other trades that are pretty good, but most typically, when you're talking about working blue-collar work, a lot of people are thinking you're working in adverse weather, odd hours, a lot of stress, a lot of physically demanding labor, exposure to chemicals, various things that, most people in an office don't want to do. And in fact, that's a reason that oftentimes blue-collar work is looked down upon. Now, me, myself, I could tell you that I had those same concerns. I worked in an office environment. I was a little neat freak when I was a kid. I'm an older, that's not a problem anymore, but it is something I'm trying to work on. The thing is that when you're talking about the automotive industry, or to a degree, machine shops, places that work with machines, manufacturing, indoor stuff, that's less of an issue, especially in the automotive industry, because what you have is you have a better environment. Now, cars, the big reason why you see a lot of change with cars nowadays is because of safety. And safety, that concept has spread to the actual environment that you're in. Keeping yourself clean, keeping exposure to chemicals down, and making sure that ultimately you are a safe person is a concept that they want to see inside of these shops. Because if you don't care about your own safety, you're not going to care about the customer's safety. And making sure that the car is safe to drive is the biggest reason that cars are on the road, look the way they do, and perform so well. I mean, look at Tesla. One of their biggest pitches now is, oh, it's so safe it broke the machine that actually crushes the roof and tests to see whether you're going to get harmed in a rollover accident. Safety is key. You're also indoors, and you tend to work a Monday to Friday job, very, very little overtime. You get in, you get out, and you go home. So, I think it's an ideal trade. I really do. And, I'm TAing a little bit. I'm pitching the electrical class. I'm telling people that they really, really need to make sure that they specialize in something like electrical, because the way cars are now, especially modern cars, once you get out, they're really, really technical. And the more technicality you learn in school, the more you're going to benefit later on. And I'm still in school, so it's not like I'm speaking as an entire expert, but I am talking with students who have graduated who are telling me how it is once they get out into the real world. And you really have to make sure that you develop your skills while in school, because, as much as a trade school, well, in my case, it's a community college, a vocational program, as much as that is going to give you the basics of what you need, once you get out in the real world, there's going to be a lot that you don't know. To be honest, most schools can't actually keep up with what's actually going on, because they're trying to educate you in the basics, and there's way too much to learn. There's a reason why master mechanics get paid a lot. They have a lot of experience, and experience is something that only can be learned through time. Now, as much as I'd like to say the trades are great, there's a lot of benefits to it, there's a lot of downsides. You're going to get cut, you're going to bleed, it's going to be dirty, no matter what. You're going to have to clean yourself, and you're going to have a lot of responsibility. That responsibility is to make sure you're safe, that you're not doing anything that you think is unsafe, and you have to be able to deal with other people who can be disagreeable, sometimes low argumentative and angry. It's male-dominated. That's the very nature of the industry. But, I'm very excited to get started in this field. Now, if you like my content, please subscribe to my channel on Minds. Subscribe to my channel on YouTube. I'm also on Twitter as well. You can find me at Adeptus Azul.